Hi everybody, it's Az here from Heel vs Babyface with another AzChats, and just like all the others, this is a veritable feast for the ears, not for the eyes. So if you do have something else to do around the house, turn up the volume, have me blabbing away in the background, and then you can get on with whatever you need to do. If you do want to sit glued to your screen for the next, however long I talk, then that's absolutely your issue. But today's AzChats, I want to discuss something which I saw just before Christmas in the forums, and I was very intrigued to see where this argument / debate was going to go, and then Blizzard shut down the thread. They shut down the thread, said it had been derailed, something that they do like to do with topics which can be of quite an interest, to be perfectly honest with you. And this one was mounts. Now, I'm a mount whore. We all know that I'm a mount whore. So it kind of spoke to me. And the issue was, somebody was saying, why do we need to wait to get to level 20 before we learn how to ride anymore? Why do we need that? And I personally think that's a fantastic question. A really, really fantastic question. Now, you've probably heard me in quite a few videos, and no doubt live on stream, express my interests about how WoW, and in particular how Mr. Pandaria, seems to have turned the game considerably into easy mode, unless you are doing normal / heroic raiding. They seem to be the only things within the World of Warcraft now which are challenging. Now, they did bring the Timeless Isle in, and for at least 3 seconds it was challenging with some of the mobs. But, I mean, we outgeared Timeless Isle, well, I certainly did within a week or two. You know, I could go over to the other side of the bridge, the broken bridge, and start to solo those ads. No problem at all. Now, they're just like regular mobs. So, unless you're doing hardcore raiding or normal raiding, there's very little challenge within the World of Warcraft. Everything does seem to be handed out to you. So, it's quite interesting, this whole business about mounts, because you might actually be slightly shocked of my viewpoint on this one. I don't actually personally understand why you have to wait till level 20 to be able to mount up. Now then, this is the reasoning. 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, let's say 4, I fully could understand. I absolutely 100% could understand why you had to wait till level 20 to do so. First of all, there was a progression curve while you leveled up. You started to level up from 1 to 10, and in that 1 to 10, you started getting different abilities depending on what class you were. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, rogues had to wait till level 9 before they could dual wield. Level 9, level 10 before they could dual wield. They used to run around for the first 9 or 10 levels with little dagger, you know, feeling a little wee bit inferior, just one dagger in the hand and going around. So they turned level 10, whatever it would be, 9 or 10, and then suddenly they had 2 daggers. There was a progressionary curve, that's what I'm trying to say. Content wasn't as easy as it was now, and also we didn't have things like heirlooms. You see? Heirlooms is a big part of this whole debate, big part of this argument, which I'll get to a little bit later on. So we didn't have all that kind of gubbins. We didn't have the nerfing of the levels of EXP that we needed to level up. All that kind of stuff. So everything was, whether it's raw vanilla. This is why we say the word vanilla. It's in its original intended format. That is what we class as kind of like vanilla. So in the vanilla format, it was absolutely spot on. Not only that, because it was a progressionary curve. Back in the day, oh, I can feel it coming. Back in the day, it wasn't even level 20. Which, this is what amused me about another part of the argument was, you know, why do we have to wait till level 20? Used to not even be level 20. Used to be level 40. Level 40! And I played the game right at the start of the Burning Crusade. I think the Burning Crusade had been out for 2 months. I think it came out in January 2007, and I picked up WoW in March 2007 for the very first time. And I had to level up to level 40 before I could use a mount for the very first time. And even then it was a slow mount. None of this 100% speed business. I think it was 60% movement speed. And then you'd have to get to level 60 and upgrade it again to get to the 100% movement speed. This is how ground mounts used to operate. Not only that, but when I turned level 40, I went on the almighty quest chain. And my giddy aunt was it an almighty quest chain to get the Dreadsteed. And it took me all over the place, and I believe it ended up in Diamore, and oh my goodness, it was a grind fest. I even learned skinning so I could defeat the dragons and skin the dragons to, I think, get the black dragon scales, something like that. Oh man, it was horrific, it was long, it was just like that. But when I got the Dreadsteed, I was just like, yes! It was a massive, massive sense of achievement and accomplishment, and it set me apart from the people who didn't have the time, inclination, desire, or simply were on the road but weren't quite there to getting it. But all that changed, and they took all that quest out of the game, all those items that you needed, all that grinding that must be done, and they simply turned the Dreadsteed into a spell which could be learnt from your trainer. Oh my goodness me. But this was all part of the extension of content within WoW, you know, because it wasn't just Vanilla and the Burning Crusade. There was now Wrath of the Lich King, and Wrath of the Lich King made way to Cataclysm, and Cataclysm has made a way to Mists of Pandaria. But what I'm trying to say is, and understandably, when a company releases new content, when a company releases a new expansion, they want people to be playing that expansion. They don't want people to be lagging behind in old content. You know, they don't want people to be grinding away in Vanilla WoW to get through to the Burning Crusade, and then grinding away in the Burning Crusade to get to Wrath of the Lich King, etc, etc. And I remember very vividly, because I was in a quite a high-end raiding guild at the time, the transition between Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King, when they put the 33% nerf in the whole of Outland, especially in the raids, and suddenly from going from Wipe Nights on Blood Boil and bosses like that, we managed to clear Black Temple in, I think it was about 1 hour and 45 minutes. Something ridiculous like that. And our progression is we'd got right through to Illidan. We hadn't got through to the Sunwell Plateau. That was our aspiration, and we just couldn't understand. You know, we couldn't believe how easy mode it had gone. But that was a theme, and that theme continued. Then it got nerfed even more, and then of course Wrath of the Lich King got nerfed down, so you could progress quickly into Cataclysm. So the point here that I'm trying to say is it's understandable for Blizzard. They want people to be playing their new content. They want people to get there ASAP. And we even know that when Warlords of Draenor comes out some point in this year, as when yet we do not know, but some point this year, they have said they'd like a spring release. Yeah, I've already said I don't think that's going to happen. But what they're trying to do is, you can buy, by the looks of it, this is not confirmed, so don't jump on me like a ton of bricks, but by the looks of it, they sent out a questionnaire recently that said, what would you feel if you could buy like a basic Warlords of Draenor, or you could buy like a Warlords of Draenor with a little bit extra cost on top of it, but you would get a level 90 character in the process. Remember we talked about this instant zap from level 1 to level 90. Well, it looks like it's going to be a premium. It's either going to go onto the Blizz store, or it's going to be as part of like a collector's set or a bigger set of Warlords of Draenor. It doesn't look like it's coming in the basic set, but it's early days. It can change, so don't jump on Blizzard. They're just sounding things out. They're just trying to stick their hand into your pocket and get a few more quid out. They want to suck you dry. Suck it all dry. Suck it out. Nickel and dime you. That's what they're trying to do here. But that's one of the ideas which is currently being touted around in Blizzard. But the point is, they're saying, from level 1 to level 90, boom, you're straight into Warlords of Draenor. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get people quicker into content. So what does that mean? I'll go back to, I said it earlier, heirlooms. Heirlooms. We have heirlooms coming out of every single orifice. And so much so, I don't personally agree with these heirlooms, but you can also get heirlooms from flexible, Garrosh and above. So normal, flexible, heroic. If you defeat Garrosh, there is the chance for you to drop a heirloom weapon, which is going to take you from level 90 to level 100. Doesn't have an EXP bonus on this one, but of course, as we all know, the heirlooms tend to scale better than any other gear of that level. And of course, they scale. That's the big thing. If you have a level 90 weapon and you ding level 91, you've still got a level 90 weapon. However, if you have a level 90 heirloom weapon, which takes you through to 100 and you ding level 91, it scales. It always scales up. That's the way that heirlooms do. So it will always get more powerful. Therefore, you will always have a slight advantage. Again, it's all about trying to push you through the content, the latest content, with, well, I'd say minimal fuss, minimal ease. So we've got shoulders, we've got heads, we've got backs, we've got chests. Ooh, chests. We've got legs, we've got shields, we've got weapons. It's probably only a matter of time till we start seeing heirloom belts and gloves and braces and all this. We've even got heirloom trinkets, lest I forget them. So, let's go back to the question at hand. Why can't we ride a mount from level 1? Why do we have to wait till level 20? Well, the simple fact is, I absolutely agree. Why? Because Blizzard, you've made your point of view perfectly clear what you feel about the older content. I am absolutely not saying there's anything wrong with that, because I totally agree. If you are producing new, fresh content for people, you want to get them interested, them excited, and them to that content as quickly as humanly possible. That's why you bring out the heirlooms. That's why you bring out the nerfs to the EXP levels that's required to level up. That's exactly why you do that. So to me, it doesn't actually make any sense anymore that you should wait until you're level 20 before you can ride a mount. Now, I would kind of understand if it was based on your first character. So if it was your first character, then you'd have to get to level 20 and earn it as a progressionary thing. After that, all your alts could have access to it. Virtually every other MMO out there does that. And I'm not saying that Blizzard should be like any other MMO, but what I am saying is that seems to be based in the order of logic. This doesn't make any logical sense. Because going from level 1 to level 20 currently, without the use of the mount, is a big ass time delay, even if you're wearing your heirloom items up to the eyeballs. So surely you should expedite this by allowing riding at level 1. Does it give people the edge anymore? Well, no. It doesn't give people an unfair advantage. Why doesn't it give people an unfair advantage? Because we've already discussed it. Heirlooms, EXP nerfs, pushing people to current content as quickly as possible to get them involved in end game stuff. And of course, this is where we all like to play the game at end level, because we want to raid with people, we want to see new content, we want to experience it all, etc, etc, etc. We don't want to be bogged down with the old content. So I understand why Blizzard brought in all these aspects. What I don't understand is why now we still have to wait till level 20. Even level 10 would seem more logical than level 20, because even at level 10 they could say, yeah, well, just in case there are new people, just in case there are new people in the World of Warcraft that are joining. I know there aren't massive amounts of brand new players to WoW. It seems to either be returning players or people are just simply leaving. But they could say, you know, they might feel a little bit overwhelmed. They might not have the funds from the get-go to be able to purchase a mount. So we can create a level 10 quest, for example. So they go through the starting zone, they get a feel for how the game operates, and it doesn't take long now to get to level 10. I think it only takes about an hour or two, absolutely tops, if that. And if you're using heirlooms, maybe less than an hour. So, you know, it's something which can be got through relatively quickly. So why can't we ride a mount from level 1? Or, you know, at least push the level 20. Again, I think it's just something which has kind of classically, inverted commas, been there. It was reduced from level 40 down to level 20 to make it a little bit more accessible for people. But we still weren't at the levels of content that we're at now. I believe that came into play actually sometime in Wrath of the Lich King. Please do correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the nerf down from riding from level 40 to level 20 came sometime in Wrath of the Lich King, if not at the beginning of Wrath of the Lich King. Somewhere along somewhere along those kind of lines. Again, somebody, if you want to point out exactly, do so in the comments, do so nicely. You know, it's all a debate. It's all just a point of view, that's all. Nothing more, nothing less. So, even if it was, it's been like this now for probably 3 years at least. Maybe 4, maybe slightly more. So it's, again, probably the last remaining obsolete requirement within the game. It doesn't make any logical sense to have it there. Not when you have heirlooms, not when you have the EXP nerfs, and let's face it, Blizz, let's not BS each other here. You're not getting lots of new players into the game, so it's not as if it's having an effect on them. So my personal point of view, and it's quite weird AzChats today, is I personally believe, why give us a mount at level 1? Give people a mount at level 1, you know? It's not going to break the game. It's not going to let them swoop in. It's not as if it's a flying mount. It's not as if they're going to swoop in, pick the rose petal that you need to, or kill the mob that you need to, and then fly back out. It's not how it's going to happen, really. You know, they get on the mount, they go through, they run through a few mobs. It's pretty much inevitable that one of those mobs will dismount them, and then they'll realise they'll be in a little bit more stuck. So it's just going to be a good and, you know, just a more amenable way for low levels to travel around. Just get past that bit of a grind from 1 to 20, which isn't great fun. It's actually one of the, believe it or not, very true story this. I have a lot of level 90 characters now. But one of the things that I absolutely despise about starting a new character is the fact I have to walk everywhere from the start, because it no longer means anything. It no longer makes any sense with everything else which is now within the game. But this is just my wee point of view. I would love to hear in the comments below what you have to say on this matter. Do you think it's an issue? Do you think it's not an issue? Do you think level 20 is too high? But do you think level 1's too generous? Do you have a compromise like the level 10 thing I was talking about? Do a quest at level 10 that will actually give you a mount, so you get My Little Pony to start off with. You know, oh, that'd be a great name for the quest as well. Anyway, I digress. You know, it would be a good way for that way if there were new players coming into the World of Warcraft to learn. But even then, I think people are intelligent when it comes to online gaming now. I think a lot of people are clued in. You've got to be a little bit wet behind the ears if you don't know how to just mount up. Or Blizz could just simply give you a mount from level 1, or maybe make it one of the very, very early quests in the starting zone. It would just make that little bit of an awkward 1 to 20 grind a little bit more palatable. May even make or allow people like myself who get a bit frustrated with that, roll a few more characters. Yeah, maybe that will get people a little bit more interested in previous content which they spend a lot of time reworking, like Cataclysm, which they totally bypassed. But I want to hear your thoughts, your feelings in the comments below, and I hope you enjoyed the vid. Please do like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and also twitch.tv/heel versus babyface for live streaming. I will be back with some more stuff very soon, so you take care, everybody. Bye bye.